All right, welcome back everyone. Today we're going to talk about using coordinate systems. In this section you're going to learn the basic components of a Cartesian coordinate system, how to plot ordered pairs on a coordinate system, and then how to complete ordered pair solutions. So Cartesian coordinate systems are extremely important in mathematics. This is how we graph every function that we've been talking about for the entire class. So each system is drawn the same and they all have particular characteristics. So in the next slide, we're just going to look at a Cartesian coordinate system and talk about the different parts. So here we have what is a basic Cartesian coordinate system. A Cartesian coordinate system is essentially the product of a horizontal and vertical line crossing each other. And what we do is we make a grid, and we use this grid to plot different points based on x and y values. So for example, this horizontal line is known as the x-axis, and this vertical line is known as the y-axis. The point where the x and y-axis meet is called the origin. Now the x and y-axis breaks up this coordinate plane into 4 different pieces, and we refer to these pieces as quadrants. And so the top right is known as quadrant 1. And then it goes counterclockwise, quadrant 2, 3, and 4. If we want to plot points on this Cartesian system, we use what's called an ordered pair. And an ordered pair is just a point x, comma, y. And that point will provide us with a location on the coordinate plane. So when we look at this coordinate plane, to the right is positive x, to the left is negative x. Up is positive y, and down is negative y. And so if we want to plot the point, say, -2 and 1, then this is going to tell us to go to the left 2 on the x-axis, and then up 1 on the y-axis. And so here's the point -2 and 1. And so these ordered pairs, x and y, are just directions leading you to the appropriate point. And so now let's practice plotting the following points on a coordinate plane. So we got the point 5 and 3. Well, that's 5 on x and 3 on y. So we're going to start from the origin and go positive 5 on x, and then positive 3 on y, and here's our point, 5 and 3. For b, we've got -2 and -4, and so we're going to go left 2 and then down 4. And there's our other point. For C, we've got 1 and -2, so we're going to go to the right 1 and then down 2. And then finally, for D, we have -5 and 0, so we're going to go to the left 5, and then 0 just means that point is going to stay there on the axis. So in general, an ordered pair is really just a solution to a linear equation in 2 variables. If you're given one of the variables or one of the values and the equation, then you can find the other one by substituting and solving. And so here we have the equation 3x plus y equals 12, and we want to complete these ordered pairs so that they're a solution to this equation. And so the thing to remember here is that the first coordinate is always x, and the second coordinate is always y. And so its position in the ordered pair tells us which letter it is, or which variable to plug it in for. And so for part A, here we have x is equal to 0. So 3 times 0 plus y is equal to 12. Well, 3 times 0 is just 0, and so you get y equals 12. And so the point, the ordered pair, would be 0 and 12. For part B, we have 3x plus y is equal to 12, but now y is 6. And so we have 3x plus 6 is equal to 12. Subtract 6 from both sides, you get 3x is equal to 6. We can then divide by 3, and we get x equals 2. And so our ordered pair here would be 2 and 6. And finally, for C, we're now going to let x be negative 1. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 plus y is equal to 12. We can then add 3 to both sides, and you get y equals 15. And so here the ordered pair would be negative 1 and 15. Now we want to do something very similar here, and we're going to complete the table for this equation, y equals 3x. Well, we're given x or y in the table, and so we're just going to complete this part. For the first one, y equals 3x, and we're told that x is negative 1, so 3 times negative 1 is just negative 3. Again, for the second one, we have y equals 3x, but now we're told that y is 0, and so to solve, we just have to solve for x by dividing by 3, and you get x equals 0. And finally, again, we have y equals 3x, but now y is 9. If we divide by 3, we get x equals 3. And so what we have here are ordered pairs that are solutions to this equation. And when we find ordered pairs that are solutions to equations, or to a single equation, we can plot them on the Cartesian plane. And so let's plot these points, negative 1 and negative 3, 0, 0, and 3 and 9, well, that would be somewhere out of the graph. And now, the points that represent solutions to a particular equation, if you line them all up, you get a straight line. And so a linear equation, if you graph it, is just going to give you a straight line. And this is what we're going to practice in the next section. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to identify the components of a Cartesian coordinate plane. You should be able to plot points on a Cartesian plane and determine solutions of linear equations in 2 variables.